207, the 158th day of 2023. There are 207 days left in the year. Good morning, MB. Guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. And the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We are getting some rain today. How long will it last? How much? We don't know, but we're grateful for what we have. And we'll give you a chance to win later on in the program. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Have you smelled any roses yet this morning?
No.
No. Take a few moments to stop and look at something in the natural environment is enough to make people happier, according to research. Stopping and smelling the roses or noticing anything in the natural world really does work. Both happiness and well-being were boosted by noticing things like a bird, a houseplant, a dandelion in the sidewalk, or just sun shining through the window.
Well, so no roses, but my back porch is full of prettiness, and the squirrels are out playing. So
See,
There you go.
you noticed some things, and it made you feel good. Your houseplants and stuff make you happy over there. Indeed. Over there in chair number 2, we say good morning and welcome back to Grayson County Extension Service Ag Agent Miss Whitney Carmen. Morning.
Morning.
Welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You look busy.
So you're saying I look tired?
No. You just look you look busy. I've noticed you've been working on agendas and you've been talking about packing lists, and you have the equivalent of a work vacation next week.
That's what you want to call it?
A working mom's vacation
Yes.
next week?
Yes.
Well, I have a suggestion for you.
Sure.
After you all return from your business vacation, which is, playing baseball all week and things like that, I would, I want to tell you about a new opportunity that you could really relax on. Disney is giving rich Mickey Mouse fans a chance to visit all 12 Disney theme parks in one round-the-world trip. It'll cost $115,000 per person. It'll take 75 passengers to 6 countries over 24 days. In addition to getting to see the theme parks, you get to go to the Taj Mahal, the Pyramids of Giza, and the Eiffel Tower, all included in the $115,000.
That's probably not a bad bargain, but I'm going to need UK to pay me a little more money in order to afford that.
It is a bargain if you have $115,000.
I was going to say, I'm going to need some of that cow money.
Times, in your case, 5.
yeah,
Right.
that's what I was thinking.
Or-
You said 115. I
Or
thought,
you could
okay,
go
but-
ahead and establish which of your children is your favorite.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and get
That's
that
what I
on
would
the
do,
just
right?
get that on the record, or or you could take 2 of your children and leave. It's whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, it sounds fun. You get people. I don't know anybody that has their Disney passport punched in its entirety.
That's crazy, though.
But I do have a story about the national parks coming up a little bit too, in a
Uh-oh.
few minutes. It's kind of interesting about national park passports as well. Weather-wise, we're getting some rain today, and thank God for the rain. We could stand some more. It's really gotten dry over the last few weeks. We've not had a significant amount of rain, but we're going to get some today, and our temperature is going to be mild. We'll see a high of 75, then only 79 tomorrow. We'll see 82 on Friday, 86 on Saturday, and 87 on Sunday, and then we do stay below 90 until next Friday. Monday looks to be mild, so if you're looking for a day to get out and do some work and not just be roasting, then this might be a pretty good day to do it. Yesterday, we were away, and I had to be in Frankfurt for a KBA Hall of Fame committee meeting, and so was really tied up doing that yesterday, and so I was unable to mention, yesterday was D-Day plus 79. So the World War, yesterday marked the 79th anniversary of D-Day during Operation Overlord. And it was hard for me. I went, wow, we're going to hit the 80th anniversary of D-Day next year. And so that will be a special ceremony. But I did hear something yesterday about someone who watched Saving Private Ryan. As you know, it's one of my favorite movies and one that I watch every Memorial Day. someone watched Saving Private Ryan with 2 World War II veterans that were part of the D-Day invasion.
Wow.
And, you know how people use the phrase, it hits differently. It hits differently if you were there. And this person was conveying watching their responses and how accurate they said that the making of that motion picture was. And so it gives us a pretty good indication of what it was really like. And until you watch that, I don't think you really appreciate what was done for us.
I remember the first time I watched it, and it was. Of course, I was probably a teen,
Sure.
and
That movie's 20 years old now.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that it's that old. But the first 20 minutes of it, if it doesn't make you proud to be an American, and more importantly, grateful, then probably nothing is going to make you be grateful for the freedoms that you have. And that's, by the way, that's not to overlook or downplay and diminish Revolutionary War heroes, Civil War heroes, whatever side you were on in that, Korean War, World War I, Vietnam, Iraqi freedom, Afghani war, like all those. But that one piece, that one 20-minute section should give you a pretty good indication of what men and women who serve our country were and are willing to do to protect the freedoms that you operate under.
right.
And so that's why I kind of go to it and encourage people to watch it and appreciate it. Speaking of our freedoms and honoring people who have given sacrifice and the ultimate sacrifice, Governor Beshear has ordered flags at all state buildings to be lowered to half staff from sunrise to sunset today in honor of the Fort Campbell soldier who died in a training exercise earlier this year. It was U.S. Army Warrant Officer First Aaron Healy, 32, of Cape Coral, Florida. He died March 29th when his Black Hawk helicopter crashed in Trigg County during a routine training mission. And he was posthumously promoted to Chief Warrant Officer Second, and is going to be interred at Arling National Cemetery today. So,
Yeah, I get those updates, obviously, at our office, and they're going through each one of them, I think, that passed in that accident.
I have ambition of having a flagpole at our home, but it's a big responsibility. And so it's not something that I'm just going to say, okay, do it. And it's there. If you're going to do it, you have to do it properly and do it well. So, but it's something. So I assume that's in your lane. You have to oversee
one of us try to take care of it. Yeah.
It's important.
Yep.
Without a doubt. All right, some headlines closer to home. The Litchfield police have arrested a man for using a 12-year-old boy to shoplift at a retail store. This happened Friday afternoon. LPD responded to a shoplifting complaint. During the investigation, they determined a 24-year-old Brett Krasuski of Hardinsburg had been directing a 12-year-old male to steal over $500 worth of items from the store. And so he was guiding them via cell phone, telling him where to go and what to get. And then the suspect admitted to sending the juvenile into the store to steal multiple items. And the suspect was arrested, became a combatant, and accused of kicking a cruiser door to prevent being placed in the vehicle, also known as resisting arrest.
I don't know that he is originally from Hardinsburg. That's not a Hardinsburg name.
It's not. No.
I don't want to claim that.
That's
Sorry.
It's not like a Henning or a.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's a famous Hardinsburg name, isn't
Henning.
it?
Yeah.
It's just one that came to mind. I'm sure there are others as
There
well.
are a bunch.
And I should have mentioned too before I told you that story. Learned more in the last 48 hours about the plane crash in Virginia that had everybody's attention over the weekend. And they apparently lost contact with air traffic control during ascent, so during takeoff. So that flight was likely doomed not long after it took off. And hypoxic, lack of oxygen, etc. Also, we got a couple more presidential candidates. Pence and Christie got in since we last met with you on Monday. State Rep Samara Heverin issued a publication earlier this week kind of talking about the interim between gubernatorial sessions. So it would be easy for you to think, oh, well, one session ends and they don't meet again until January, so they don't do anything in that period. Well, au contraire, there are lots of interim session work, legislative work, lots of committees, lots of meetings to discuss ambitions of the legislature and their session upcoming. Things like a local government annexation task force, a certificate of need task force is meeting and discussing, the lottery trust fund task force, multimodal freight transportation system improvement task force. That sounds complicated to me.
It does.
Jail and correction. Anytime multimodal, a word like multimodal is in there, like, oh, that's more
I mean,
than
I just
maybe
imagine
can-
it's different ways of getting transportation from one place, or transporting things.
That reminds me of a line from MASH. I think Rizzo was the motor pool coordinator, and he said, I need a mode of transportation. He said, I don't think I got any modes left. So that's what I think of when I hear multimodal or mode of transportation. Jail and Corrections Reform Task Force, Health and Human Services Delivery System Task Force, and School and Campus Security Task Force. That's one that is ever changing, I'm sure, and it is extremely important. Governor Beshear declared yesterday that he's been steadfast in the fight against crime, hitting back against his Republican challengers' attacks on public safety issues, which have risen to the forefront of Kentucky's closely watched gubernatorial campaign. The governor was flanked by a bevy of current and retired law enforcement officers backing his reelection campaign. Beshear laid out his record on criminal justice issues. As governor, he said he pushed for large pay raises for state troopers, as well as increased training for police officers. As Attorney General, he prosecuted child sex offenders, cleared a rape kit backlog, and combated senior scams. So he's obviously touting his leadership. Interesting how this kind of this race is sizing up. It'll be a long summer, and you'll head into around Labor Day. It'll kind of kick into higher gear. It's really the only thing that people got to pay any attention to on the statewide political landscape. The Cameron campaign has been determined to paint themselves as the law and order justice people. It's he's the attorney general. He's pro law enforcement. He's pro an aggressive criminal justice system, etc. Well, now the Beshear people are saying, well, we've got that too. And it did bring, I like Daniel Cameron just fine. I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time in the end differentiating
Yeah.
between the two. Both have big political machines behind them. The Beshear's a little more of a state-based one, although he, has some friends nationally because they think he might have a future in national politics. Cameron obviously has the backing of the McConnell machine, but both attorney generals, both lawyers. It's going to be one of those people are going to have a hard time, especially if they look similar in the well. He's got law enforcement buddies, and he's got law enforcement buddies, and like, how do I know? And you're both attorneys. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that shapes up. But the Beshear people had sort of been taking the hits. We're the law and order people, and the Beshears were like, we're the law and order people too. So we'll see. Oh, speaking of the election board did certify the May primary results earlier this week.
Okay.
I don't think there was any doubt they were going to do that, but it did officially happen as required by the state's constitution. So there it is. The U.S. Surgeon General releases an advisory on loneliness as a public health crisis. Vivek Murthy released last month an 82-page advisory focusing on an unexpected public health crisis in the form of loneliness. It points out that levels of loneliness and isolation in the U.S. is a lack of social connection among people. The trends regarding loneliness were evident even before the COVID-19 pandemic. Research included in the advisory states evidence across scientific disciplines converges on the conclusion that socially connected people live longer. I would definitely agree with that.
But that was my question: was this pre-COVID or after? Because I would venture to say it was already headed that way.
It was already headed that way.
We live on these things,
That's
and
right.
so
We're retreating, and I'm not telling you that a social media connection doesn't have value, but I would beg that it has far greater harms than it has. Like, they're not equal. The harms, the benefits, and the liabilities and the problems created are not on equal terms. It's not a wash.
Agree.
You get some good, but I think not handled properly, you get way more bad than you get good. So it cannot be the surrogate for you retreating from society and becoming a hermit and saying, I'm not leaving the house. I'm not going to talk to people. I don't want to see neighbors. I don't want to visit anyone. That loneliness mounts up, and it can't be replaced by a phone.
And I was going to say, in today's world as well, and I think part of COVID doing this is now you can get everything delivered to your house. You don't actually have to go out into society if you don't want to get things and to,
So
be
you
a
don't
part.
run into anybody
So
at the
yeah.
store. You don't. Yeah.
Even those, I mean, because I can pretty well navigate my way in a store without actually having to interact with anyone.
Me
but
too,
it's
yeah.
if I needed to, it's there. you
Remember
know?
in the olden days when you had to talk to the pizza delivery person?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Now you just check that button, say contactless delivery, and they send you a picture of it when they deliver it, and you can go, is anybody out there? I'm going to open up my door.
I'm still a social person, but I would like to. I do like that I can pick and choose when I want to be social.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's important, but I do think it becomes
You have to be careful.
too easy for the choice to be withdrawn, and then next thing you know, you're isolated and you can't really understand why. And it was not a singular decision that you made yesterday. It was a multitude of decisions that you made day after day that led you to isolation.
And let's just go back to it. One of your favorite movies, Wilson was his best friend. He had to have something. You can, if you're that, you've got to, that just goes to show you that the human mind it needs people.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx, they did a feature on him on Sunday morning. And in his office in Memphis,
Is Wilson?
he has a Wilson. One of the 5 Wilsons that they used is in a glass case. And it got me thinking, like, that was a bold move for FedEx to let them make that movie about a disaster involving their brand. But it was done so well
Yeah, that they were
that
okay
they
with it.
benefited. Like, they got a bounce in cred, even though it was a tragedy that happened. So it was well done. But I'd like to have a Wilson. That'd be okay. Apparently
be nice.
there's 4 more floating around somewhere. Forte is the slight 5-2 favorite for the Belmont Stakes over stablemate Tappet Trice. The Belmont will happen Saturday late in the day. Big whoop. Because I'll be paying attention.
I was going to say.
To the Super Regional that will be taking place, at least for Kentucky, down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, against the LSU. Uphill battle, but anything can happen in a series. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. They're on a roll right now. Our guys are, our Batcats are. So
Super Regional for the second time in school history.
yeah.
I think that's right.
I think we were still in, I don't remember when it was. Do you remember what year they were?
I do not. It probably says, but I
I
would
was
have
going to
it.
say, I remember it was pretty soon after I was out of school. I think that they had done that because it was in the new, I think they were still in the old park, actually.
As rough as Mingione has had the last couple of years, like there was a period not very long ago where you were unsure whether he was going
Like
to
6 months ago.
keep his job, and now they're in the Super Regional. So it just shows you, baseball can be a funny game. Tim Couch and Jimmy Fikes are in the 2024 College Football Hall of Fame ballot. They will be on the ballot. So Fikes Field, and of course, Couch was the #1 draft pick out of Kentucky to the Cleveland Browns, and they squandered a great talent. But anyway, he's a professional bodybuilder or something now.
He's something.
And then this story is neat. A 93-year-old grandmother has visited every national park in the United States with her grandson.
That's awesome.
Get it,
So,
Granny?
a-
I love
love
it.
it.
It will be memories that they will never be able to take away. And said it's just like Christmas, being able to do like 93 at age 93. By the way, there are 63 U.S. national parks.
Wow.
So for those of you with your passport that you're in the process of punching out, and sometimes they add them as they go along.
Yeah.
So sometimes they move the goalpost on you. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way here on In the Know.
For more than 70 years, Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center has cared for the health of our friends, neighbors, and family members in Grayson County and beyond. We've celebrated every beautiful newborn, every successful surgery, and every healed injury. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is focused on finding solutions to your health challenges. As part of the Owensboro Health System, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable.
ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start August 14th.
Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, College for the
Rising prices are everywhere, from the gas pump to your electric bill. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives understand that these times are challenging. That is why we're doing all we can to keep your rates competitive and service reliable. We also have programs that provide options to help you manage your bill. To learn more about what we're doing for you, go to togetherwesaveky.com. Kentucky's Touchstone Energy Cooperatives. TogetherWeSaveKY.com.
Litchfield Tourism presents gospel music on East Main. Join Darren Whiteley and the Edwards family as they welcome Eternal Vision.
Everybody will be happy.
And the Roar. Friday, June 16th at 7 p.m. on East Main Street in Litchfield. Free gospel concert sponsored by Litchfield Tourism, featuring Eternal Vision.
You just call on me, brother. Yeah.
Friday, June 16th at 7 p.m. on East Main Street in Litchfield.
At Holiday World and Splash and Safari, sometimes free takes a little convincing, especially with dads.
Free parking? That's how they get you.
They're just naturally suspicious of free stuff. Free soft drinks!
Whoa. That's how they get you.
But after a day of fun on the world's longest water coasters and our 400 drone light show, dads come around. At Holiday World, we get you. We're just not out to get you. That's why there's
free soft drinks, free parking, free soft drinks.
Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
Apple has unveiled its new $3,500 Vision Pro virtual reality headset. NBC's Jacob Ward has got more on the announcement from CEO Tim Cook.
Introducing Apple Vision Pro.
Apple revealing a mixed reality headset, its first new product in years.
You can see, hear, and interact with digital content just like it's in your physical space.
The company made the announcement Monday at its World in California. Built with 5 sensors, 6 microphones, and 12 cameras, the pair of goggles will be available in the U.S. starting in early 2024. CEO Tim Cook says the Vision Pro will introduce people to new forms of spatial computing. The headset also includes Apple's first fully 3D interface. And the Securities and Exchange Commission is suing the largest U.S. cryptocurrency exchange. The regulator accuses Coinbase of failing to register with the SEC, therefore operating illegally. The SEC has also filed a lawsuit against Binance. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield.
She's so fine. She's all mine.
Today is VCR Day. That's a game changer.
Yes, it was.
So, VHS took over, but it was Betamax and VHS were competitors in the space. Mm-hmm. And VHS ended up winning out, but it completely changed. The worst thing, kids, so there used to be this thing that you would record your shows on. It was the size of a suitcase originally. Mm-hmm. And then it had these big cassette tapes that were the size of a small lunchbox. And you set the VCR to record at a certain time to a certain channel, and you go back to watch your program, say Friday night videos or something like that, and then you'd be all charged up to go watch Friday night videos, mm-hmm. and then you'd fire it up, and your sisters would have recorded Strawberry Shortcake over it, and so that was so much fun back in the day.
Oh my goodness.
Why is Gargamel on my music videos tape? That's what I want to know. Two completely different things, by the way. Gargamel is in the Smurfs universe. I'm fully aware of that. Chocolate ice cream day today.
Uh-oh.
and Daniel Boone Day.
Get your coonskin hat.
That's funny. I'm so glad you mentioned it. That's a bit of a misnomer.
I know he doesn't really have one.
He wore a felt cap, and so we take the Davy Crockett imagery and hat and we put it on Daniel Boone, and everyone does it. And I'm surprised every year when I read Daniel Boone actually preferred like a felt hat.
Yeah,
and I like the song Daniel Boone better than Davy Crockett. Daniel Boone was a man,
yeah, that's true.
Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. I like Davy Crockett just fine, but I prefer Daniel Boone. That's what we're celebrating. Today is also Farmers Market Day.
It is.
It's one of the 2 Farmers Market days per week. You're a few weeks into your split locations, your City Hall on Saturdays and your Center on Main on Wednesdays.
Yes.
So how's everybody settling into that?
Everything's going well. There is actually a couple of vendors out there today at the Center on Main. One thing, if you are visiting the market, just make sure you don't pull straight up to the actual vendors. Park in one of the parking spots, and that way you can allow for, because there are kids and people that walk around, so just be aware of that. We do try to put cones out, but just, if you are in the area, don't pull right up to the vendors. Just park and walk. The other thing is we are getting very close to produce. There's a little bit of produce out there now. Some of your late winter, start spring, but we will start getting into that summer produce here in the next couple of weeks. So just be looking out on that.
Maybe some corn.
You're looking in July.
July for corn?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know when that.
Yep.
But it'll be July before we know
will.
it.
I know. We're already 8 days into May. I can't.
June.
7. June. Sorry.
Yeah,
See?
seven.
Listen.
You need a vacation, don't you?
I think I do. Yeah.
This kind of is in your sphere as well. We have been noticing, well, she has noticed, and then I found one the other day. I don't think I mentioned ticks. It's tick
Yes,
season
they're
already.
terrible.
They are really bad.
And yeah, that's, and our situation has changed a little bit, so I can't tell if it's our situation or the ticks are bad. But
It might be a little bit your situation.
probably.
There is
Yeah.
a chance that it is that we are not as accustomed to seeing.
Babesiosis, Babesiosis, is a new tick-borne disease that's emerging this summer. It's potentially lethal, spread by ticks, and experts are warning it can be easily mistaken for a simple summer cold. The CDC warns that cases of babesiosis have significantly increased in the northeastern United States, and the disease is often asymptomatic or presents mild symptoms. Fever, chills, body aches, headache. However, some patients may experience more severe symptoms. It can even be life-threatening. Patients who are immunocompromised or asplenic have at risk and more dire outcomes. The good news is it can be treated with medication as commonly available, and medications that are commonly available as long as it's caught early. Well, if you don't have symptoms, then I guess how do you know? And the trick is being diagnosed properly with it. And so I'd never heard of it before today. I hope our physicians had. But transmission, the CDC says babesiosis transmission takes longer, usually after a tick is attached, for 36 to 48 hours.
Okay.
There's the story, because I know you immediately started looking on your
Well,
phone.
I'm just wondering what tick causes it.
Yeah, good. So
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
good
the one
question.
that we had a picture of was really, really ugly.
Well,
I mean,
the
they're
same
all-
tick species that vectors Lyme disease. So that would be like your Lone Star tick and those, that type of tick, which we do have here in the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
did I miss the picture of the cute tick?
Oh no.
Because I
but-
was going to say.
I mean, no.
Well, there
there
is an actual, the reason, I don't know what tick that is, but I do know that there is a tick that's called the Asian longhorn tick that is affecting animals currently, and we're on watch for it in the state as well, because they're like aphids. They multiply rapidly, and they'll overtake an animal and basically take all its blood out.
Yeah,
wow.
depleted of its.
Yeah, we've only had 1 or 2 cases in the state, though, so don't go all getting worried here yet. Just keep an eye on it.
Yeah. I'd rather talk about something more pleasant,
let's do
like
it.
iOS 17. iOS 17 will finally let you type those swears on your iPhone that it keeps correcting. So if you're tired of your
like
iPhone keyboard always auto-correcting your swear words,
Good job, Sam.
you're going to love this new feature. They announced on Monday that iOS 17 an unveiled and improved and more sophisticated autocorrect feature, which makes cussing so much easier. And so they are going to use iOS 17 will leverage a transformer model, which OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, uses in their own language models to learn from what you type on your keyboard to better predict what you might say next, whether it's a name, phrase, or even a curse word. If you're not happy with a correction, you can tap the underlined word to see what you originally typed and quickly go back to it. iOS 17 is expected to be available as a public beta sometime in July, with the general release to come out in September alongside the rumored iPhone 15 series.
Okay. It will not, I have problems with this though. I mean, for some reason, it still doesn't recognize when I type to text. It doesn't fix it anyways. So I don't know. I don't know if I just have fat fingers or what, but
Do you possibly have the feature turned off?
I maybe do, but it's still. But then when I do predictive text, it makes me mad because it doesn't do it correctly either. Maybe it doesn't understand the way I talk.
Well,
either.
I guess, and so I think that bears out exactly what the story is saying. It's going to be using AI to learn you.
It doesn't understand my world.
It'll learn your input. Yeah, I would imagine you have some different nomenclature that the average person doesn't have, like babesiosis and Texas longhorn frog tick or whatever you just mentioned. It was longhorn something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Asian longhorn tick, but you took Texas and TCU. I got where you went.
Well, it's a little embarrassing, but a friend and she's probably listening this morning, and we had a text conversation back and forth. You know, when I type, mine no longer says shot.
Mine doesn't either.
It has learned that that's not what I'm typing. It does not underline it. It does not show it in red. It does not. It knows that that's.
The thing about it is, though, is I think that's a common. It does that to a lot of people because if you ever watch Twitter, it's
okay.
Especially in the sports world where they're trying to say shot, they
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really cuss in text.
Well,
so
I don't either, but it will automatically do that to mine as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I do get. Sometimes I will start to type three letters. It happened this morning. I was typing something and it put the word in all capitals, Gentech, Gentech, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
No.
Like, why would you suggest that to me? And like, I don't even know what that means.
ChatGPT.
I guess. The iconic pink Motorola Razr is making an epic comeback. I was watching the Yankees game last night and saw it was really kicked it old school because in the old Yankee Stadium, there was a big Motorola billboard out in right center field. Well, it's back and it says Razr. And I thought, is that an old billboard? Nope. The iconic pink Motorola Razr is making an epic comeback. It was announced on June 1 as a reimagined version of the classic early 2000s accessory. This time as a foldable cell phone that flips into a sleek smartphone with a touch screen. The outside features a usable screen and even has a front-facing camera that lets you take the perfect selfie or USSI without opening your phone, and also allows you to position the device to be its own tripod. Now that's a feature that Paris Hilton, the self-proclaimed inventor of the selfie, could get behind. Taylor Buckle's first cell phone, pink Motorola Razr.
My second cell phone was a Motorola Razr.
Yeah.
My first one was one of the Nokia snake phone, one of the old ones that
I don't remember what mine was.
And I thought it was the coolest thing because instead of it being green, light up green, it would light up blue.
I'm certain my first first cell phone that I purchased was a Motorola. I had a bag phone, but I don't really count that. The first handheld phone was a Motorola that had that weird humpback battery on it. It was like a
yes, I know exactly what you're talking
hexagonal
about.
kind of shape, and it was that, and so that was mine.
Yep.
But Taylor's was the day she graduated from 8th grade. It was straight to the store, and she wanted a Razr, and she wanted it to be pink. So that's the way it worked. McDonald's is debuting their new Grimace birthday meal and shake starting June 12. Grimace's birthday will be greeted with the release of a new birthday meal featuring a limited edition purple shake inspired by Grimace's iconic color and sweetness starting June 12th. It also comes with your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets. and the brand's signature fries. It will be available while supplies last, starting June 12. I read earlier this was considered for a did you know, but got left on the cutting room floor, or did it, because I'm about to tell you. The average serving of popcorn at a movie theater, like they give you the bucket of popcorn, is the equivalent of 2 Big Macs.
What? Listen, I'm just
What
going
if
to
you put
take
the extra butter on there too?
I think I'm just going to take 2 Big Macs into the
I
theater
think
with
I'd rather
me.
have
I
2
think
Big
my
Macs.
I think my daughter would actually choose the popcorn over the Big Macs. She loves popcorn.
I like popcorn, but I don't know. There's something about
It's our
I was like,
favorite
I could
snack.
have 2.
We don't eat that much
So
popcorn
that would
at
be
one time. Though.
4 all beef patties, special sauce.
Wow.
Flights on an airplane are known for being uncomfortable, but paying for a luxury seat has the ability to make the journey a little bit more bearable. Despite having paid additionally to upgrade her seat from economy, a passenger was flabbergasted when she was asked to downgrade her seat with no additional compensation. So she took to Am I the Butthead forum. She declined a request to give up her seat, but this didn't sit well with her fellow passenger who made her flight misery. She says, so I just got off a flight. This is in the Am I the Butthead forum. So I just got off a flight. When I was boarding, my ticket was flagged and they printed me a new ticket much further back on the plane. I was in Economy Plus, but my new ticket was Normal Economy. She goes on, I was notified that my ticket was being changed, and when I demanded an explanation as to why I was being bumped back, I was told to make space for a family to sit together. I said, no thanks, I will keep my original seat, and I was told I'd have to sit next to a kid, which I said, cool, no problem. She goes on, I proceeded to board the plane, sit in my originally chosen seat, and lo and behold, the very last people to board are 2 young adults aged 20 to 25, a couple. No kids in sight. He demands to sit in my seat because it was next to his totally normally functioning girlfriend, and I said no. He went to talk to a flight attendant and then goes to sit at the back of the plane in his, I guess, original seat. The woman was a total butthead to me the whole flight, clearly mad and that I wouldn't let her boyfriend sit next to her. She elbowed me the entire time. She goes on, anyway, since when are couples flying without kids entitled to the special family seating policy? I've flown as a couple many times and never asked for this. I feel like that's totally out of line and an abuse of policy. She added, also should be mentioned, one of the flight attendants was also rude to me, presumably for not moving seats, and forgot to serve me and gave me an attitude the entire flight. So where do we land?
Oh, I don't think she's a butthead at all.
No, I don't think
I
she's
don't
a
either.
butthead.
And
when
that
you
girl
first
would
started
not
to say
have
that-
wanted to sit next to me.
Well, see, can't talk again today. There is a part of me that was like, okay, family, I understand that. But when they talked about how they were both just a couple, then no.
in their
no.
20s, get a grip.
Yeah.
And
Go
both
sit in your
seemingly
seat.
normally functioning.
Right.
Listen, not everybody wins the stuffed animal at the county fair.
Right.
20 to 25-year-olds. If you didn't plan in
That's you.
enough time to buy 2 seats together, the world does not owe you 2 seats together, or you can take another flight that has seats. And so, as someone who will pay for upgrades on flights, if I have paid for the upgrade and that's my expectation, it's completely up to me to be benevolent. And if I say no, that's not on me.
That's right.
Right? I mean, I would entertain if it was someone elderly, if it were kids, if it were, I would certainly consider it. But if you're 23 years old and you're just going to Cancun to have fun, forget it.
Yes.
You know, I'm just like, I'm going to keep
on
the seat
you.
that I
And
paid
I
for.
dare you to throw the first elbow.
Uh-huh.
I double dog dare
remind
you.
me not to sit next to Christy.
I took a flight on
I'm the-
vacation
I'm the best to sit next to. Really, I am.
until you throw an elbow.
Until you throw an elbow.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
We
Yes.
got to get to a break. The water cooler question. Your chance to win. Coming up here on In the Know.
windows from Future Designs. Masonite and Atrium, you get countless design options that give you unmatched flexibility, energy-efficient glass choices, hardware, and more. So don't just remodel, transform with Masonite doors and Atrium windows built around you. Start your transformation at Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember, your feel better starts here at Midway Pharmacy.
Buy one, get one for $1 at McDonald's. Or as we like to call it, the can't have just one deal. The McDouble sandwich, McChicken, savory 6-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, or, for a limited time, any size frozen drink. Buy one, get one for $1. Now try flavors like frozen Coca-Cola, Fanta Blue Raspberry, or Fanta Wild Cherry. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. From 6-week certificates to 2- or 4-year degrees, there's an option for you. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
The Kentucky Department for Community-Based Services is hiring. DCBS invites you to be part of an inclusive team of caring professionals that helps all Kentucky families through a rewarding career in family support or social services. They have job openings in their county offices across the state and offer great benefits like hybrid work schedule, competitive salary, paid holidays, and many opportunities for training and promotions, plus state employee discounts. Go online to chfs.ky.gov and enter DCBS jobs in the search field. It's a new day at DCBS. Join them, an equal opportunity employer MFD.
Summertime is finally here. As traffic increases, the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety reminds all road users to pay attention. Watch out for each other. Follow the rules of the road and these simple steps that can help save lives. Remember to buckle up every trip, every time. Put the phone down if you're driving, walking, or riding a bike or motorcycle. Safety is a shared responsibility. Enjoy your summer and be safe, Kentucky. Paid for by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Nice to see some rain back on the radar. It'll be scattered showers throughout much of the morning period, tapering off north to south as we into this afternoon. Even some late day sun will be possible, but until that sun arrives, temperatures will be stuck in the 60s and low 70s much of the day. About a quarter of an inch of rain looks like for most areas. Welcome rainfall for sure. From the Wave Storm Tracker Team, I'm meteorologist Brian Good.
Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, say I got a woman way over town, good to me.
Did you know GPS tracking doesn't work by the satellite tracking the object, but the object tracking the satellite? I knew that. I mean,
that
yes,
makes sense.
I understand that, but I don't think we think of it. I think we think of it from a top-down mentality that it's tracking, and really we're just triangulating. And some devices will show you, like, I'm triangulating, which is an odd word to say, up to 12 different satellites. So it's global positioning system. It's telling you your global position based upon information that you're pinging out there that's coming back to you. So there you go. Today, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's all those crime shows that we've watched. There you go.
Yes, that's right. Today's water cooler question, it's your chance to win. If you've not won the last 30 days, if your household's not won in the last 30 days, and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win. We are going to give away Beach Bend tickets today because, today is Beach Bend Day. And you will text your answer to 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. Out of all the correct answers, we will draw from the correct responses. Parents say kids are 50% more likely to do this in summer. Parents say kids are 50% more likely to do this in summer. No, that's not Think Music. This is Think Music. I know I startled you. For a minute, you thought we were going to play Factor Crap. Think about it. Parents say kids are 50% more likely to do this in summer. Text your guess to 270-259-6000. Debbie asked me at the wedding on Friday, what are you giving away? I said, depends on the day. Today's Beach Bend Day, so maybe Debbie's playing along. All right. So I told you at the beginning of the show yesterday I had a meeting in Frankfurt, and it was a 4-hour meeting, and it was kind of a heavy meeting. I mean, well, you're dealing with Hall of Fame stuff, but you got to pay attention. You got to debate, and, there's a blah, 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 blah. So anyway, you don't really care about that. My point is that after this 4-hour meeting, I'm scrolling socially, and I see someone who I know and trust, but I don't necessarily think they're the authority on current events, make a comment about PGA Live merger. And I thought, that's a funny thing. It's hogwash. Like, yeah, sure, right. They merged. Well,
they did merge.
I went a little further and thought, holy cow, unbelievable. I mean, I did not see this coming, and maybe people who have spent more time looking at it did, but I thought that this was a possibility. But this seemingly was out of left field, and it really makes the position of the PGA a year ago incredible because of all the things they said. So when I got home, I turned on the Golf Channel. I was like, I need to know all the details on this to figure out what has happened. And it's true. They're coming out with some type of model that merges the DP Tour, the Live Golf Tour, the PGA Tour. I think that at the end of the day, it became a financial issue. Mm-hmm. I think the Saudis had money to fight legally way longer than the PGA had the ability to fight legally. And so they said, we're going to be better. We might as well work together rather than work against one another, because the only people that are going to win are lawyers. Mm-hmm. And they got it worked out. But of course, the people who stood on principle, the Rorys of the world, et cetera, they're like, well, wait a minute. You cut our knees out from under us when we went to bat for you.
Right. Tiger
turned down probably $800 million to go, and he would have lost a half a year. Mickelson. Now, I don't know those figures that Liv were paying Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson and Bubba Watson, et cetera, to come over. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was paid out over a period of time, if that's paid on performance, like you got at the end of every season, we'll pay you your installment, or if that was just a flat, thank you for coming gift. And so I don't know if they got all that money or not, but deep pockets. Deep pockets.
More money than I even can think about.
I don't. So I don't know. This doesn't feel good to me. Like I was pro PGA. Mm-hmm. I was pro the PGA stance, and this kind of feels like Live won.
Yeah, but weren't they in a lot of litigation anyway?
Yeah, and I think neither party wanted discovery of the legal process.
Right.
Because this is really, drop your pants and show us everything for the Saudis and I don't think the Saudis are accustomed to the U.S. legal system, and I don't think they wanted any part of that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think the PGA says, come on in and look in our pantry, in our medicine cabinet, and you're welcome to see anything we got. Yeah. I don't think that's how the PGA was either. But nonetheless, that's neither here nor there. Captain America 4 got a new title. It's called The Brave New World. Okay.
Okay.
A judge says no evidence that Dua Lipa ever heard the song that she's accused of copywriting for Levitating. That's right. Leave Levitating alone. It's a great song.
It is.
Dark Side of the 2000s, Vice TV. So I don't know if you've seen this series. They've done Dark Side of the Ring, Dark Side of Comedy, Dark Side of Football. Now they're going to look at the 2000s, like 2000 to 2010, in some of the weird things that happened in the world. It's a docuseries like Lindsay Lohan and Charlie Sheen.
Oh my gosh,
and some of
that's
these
been a
other
long time
weird
ago.
things. Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like in ways it seemed like yesterday, and now it seemed like it's forever ago. Grey's Anatomy. Ellen Pompeo says she'll hopefully make some appearances next season. Is that winding down?
I
Is
don't
Grey's
know.
Anatomy
I quit
winding
watching
down?
10 years ago.
Yeah, she's still watching, I think.
Yes,
watching
I'm
Grey's
not caught
Anatomy.
up, but
And
story of my life.
after Ed Sheeran was on the Country Music Awards show and he said he'd like to write some country music, I thought he's just being nice. Like he's just saying, he's riding a high like I was on the show. This would be great. No, he keeps talking about it. He was on the Today Show this week and still talking about that he'd love to write some country songs. So, okay, show me what you got, Ed. I mean, if Taylor Swift can write country
That's
songs,
true.
then so can Ed Sheeran. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But he's going to have to talk with a Southern accent if he wants to be credible. So on that, we got to get to a break. We'll come back, find out who our winner is. Coming up here on In the Know.
Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz probably said it best. There's no place like home. Home ownership is central to the American dream. Always has been. In fact, did you know that once upon a time, legendary retailer Sears and Roebuck sold houses by mail? That's right, between 1908 and 1942, one of the thousands of items that could be purchased from their mail order catalog was a brand new home. Homeowners could choose between 400 styles of prefabricated homes and have the material shipped right to their front door, or at least to where their front door would be, as soon as the homeowner followed the provided instructions and put the whole thing together. Homeownership not only fuels the American dream, it fuels strong marriages as well. Buying and maintaining a home is an opportunity for couples to pursue a shared vision and to grow and thrive together along the way. Home is the place where we surround ourselves with the people who know us better than anyone else and who love and support us anyway. Home is where kids develop their identity and launch into the world as self-sufficient individuals. Home is the heart of the family. As English poet Thomas Tusser said, "We seek home for rest, for home is best." To turn your house into a home, remember that a home is as much about the people inside the walls as it is about the walls themselves. To help your family thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The recent bank failures serve as a warning about how fragile our banks really are. As millions of Americans panic, do you know what the central banks are doing? They've already made their decision. They're buying up gold at record levels. They're relying on it as a safe haven during these difficult times when they don't trust the dollar. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. We're all Americans who want to protect our family's savings no matter what. I tell people the best option is to diversify your 401k or IRA into physical gold or silver with the help of Birch Gold Group. To see how that works, just text the word HOPE to the number 989898 to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. Look, there's no strings attached. So take the first step today and educate yourself. Get your free info kit when you text HOPE to 989898 right now, and I pray you and your family are blessed.
Tell them step off, I'm doing the hump. The Humpty Dance, here's your chance to do the hump. Everybody, I do the Humpty Hump. Come on, I do the Humpty Hump. Sexy lady.
MB's point to ponder for today. How come, all right, go with me on this. How come you see an awful lot of smart guys with maybe not so smart women, but you next to never see a smart woman with a dumb guy? Like you see two smart people, you see two dumb people, you see smart guys, dumb women, but you never see, I don't say never, rarely see smart woman who chooses a dumb guy.
I think
right?
I think you have to get to a certain age for that to be accurate. So when you say woman, yeah, you're less likely to see someone beyond, let's go with, I don't know, 32, 34 with a stupid male.
Okay, all right.
But now you get
in adolescence,
or
it's common.
in your early 20s.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So, but I guess my point is what I'm saying is it proves that women are the smartest because they don't fall for that trick.
Yeah.
I was affirming it. I'm telling you I'm on your side. That's what I'm trying to say. Damar Hamlin practiced in full pads for the first time since cardiac arrest in January.
Good for him.
It's good. It was good to see video of that. The water cooler question.
Do they have air-conditioned helmets?
50%.
LSU has air-conditioned helmets now.
LSU does? Really? Do they also? Is UK having to stay in dorm rooms when they're at Baton Rouge?
Listen.
Like with their Tempur-Pedic
they
mattresses?
stayed in. So fun fact: I want to say Ball State took a picture in front of Baldwin Hall. That's where I lived in college.
Yeah.
And that is a nice dorm. Or it was when I was there.
Yeah.
And so it was a far cry from Blanding that I lived in 2
Oh, yeah.
years prior.
Blanding and Kerwin were like,
Yeah.
"Bleh."
So hush it up.
Yeah. They were just making a big deal about nothing. The water cooler question was 50% of parents said kids were 50% more likely to do this in summer, and it was eat more junk food.
Oh, that's a good one.
Eat
I had all
more
kinds of
junk
lists.
food was the
Yeah.
answer. So count up the correct responses and tell me what I got to pick between.
Hang on. One through 8.
8 people got it correct. Well, good for them. I will pick 3.
Okay. 6872.
6872. Congratulations. You're going to Beach Bend. We were kind of late, but I did read a list of albums that are turning 50 this year. So the Aerosmith album,
They were one of the first that came to my mind. I was like, they've got to have something.
the album with Dream On and Mama Ken, 50 years old now. The Eagles' Desperado, it had Desperado, Tequila Sunrise, Doolin Dalton, it's 50 years old. Piano Man, Billy Joel is 50 years old. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton John is 50 years old. That had Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, and Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Saturday Night on there. Dark Side of the Moon is 50 this year. The Queen album that had Keep Yourself Alive is 50 years old. The Bruce Springsteen Greetings from Asbury Park is 50 this year. The Who's Quadrophenia is 50 this year. And Wings Band on the Run is 50 this year. A lot of good music.
Oh, my gosh.
Turning 50. 50.
Yeah.
On television tonight, The Real Housewives of Orange County on Bravo, season 17 premiere. The Married at First Sight on Lifetime, the season 16 finale. Is that a competitor to 90 Days?
Which one is it? I'm sorry. I was looking at
Married
the air
at First
quality.
Sight. That air quality. I saw it last night during the Yankees game. It was awful.
I don't
You
know.
don't know.
I have no
Our
idea.
air quality has been terrible.
Have you noticed
Like-
it was
that,
real?
yeah, that is.
So
that's
if
really
you
bad.
go
It's
like,
dense.
if you're on a high area looking down lower, you can just tell how hazy it is up in the sky. It's not really coming
No,
down to the
I
ground.
noticed it yesterday.
You did?
Yes,
Yeah, it's-
and I noticed it actually in town. Like you could tell it was hazy. It looked like a hazy August day,
Sure.
and it was
And that's-
not. It was smoke.
That's 800 miles away,
Mm-hmm.
at least the nearest wildfire, but it's like 9.5 million acres.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, season 16 premiere, and the NBA final. Nuggets at Heat, game 3. Who you got?
I'll probably go Nuggets tonight.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
I like Nuggets.
Me too.
I might have Nuggets for lunch.
So if it goes the other way, is it heated nuggets?
Heated Nuggets.
Because they got
Nuggets. I don't honestly. I don't. Either team is fine with me. They both have UK players on it. So is Hero back?
No,
Hero
he's not.
Tyler, whatever his name is. Yeah.
At
Hero.
last check, I don't think he is. If he is, it's news to me.
Okay. Well, me too.
Nuggets, good. French fries, good. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1965, the U.S. Supreme Court in Griswold versus Connecticut struck down 7-2 a Connecticut law used to prosecute a Planned Parenthood clinic in New Haven for providing contraceptives to married couples. What else? Battle of Midway ended in a decisive victory for American naval forces this date in 1942. Yeah, it did. Take that, world. Birthdays today. Tom Jones is 83 today. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jenny Jones, the former talk show host, is 77.
Wow.
I had no idea she was that age.
Oh,
I
that
thought
takes
she
me
was.
back.
I thought she was 10 years younger than that.
Wow. Yeah, that was my first in high school. I did in one of my classes. I was Jenny Jones.
You were Jenny Jones. Huh, I was Jenny from the block. Liam Neeson is 71 today. Mike Pence is 64. Dave Navarro is 56. Bill Hader is 45. Anna Kournikova is 42. Iggy Azalea is 33. And Fetty Wap is 32. Fetty. Friends call him Fetty. Gone but not forgotten, Beau Brummel in 1778, James J. Braddock in 1905, Jessica Tandy in 1909, Dean Martin in 1917, Ken Osmond in 1943, Thurman Munson 1947, Prince 1958.
Oh.
Chart toppers.
When a fella meets
1948, the Andrews Sisters.
There's a
Tooley Ooly
he's
Dooley.
gotta do. He can never take her by the hand till he learns to Tooley Ooly do.
It's going to become an earworm for you today.
I'm afraid so,
Let's
yeah.
go. 1957. Marty Robbins, #1, with a white sport coat and a pink carnation. Carnation.
And a pink.
I said that like Richard Petty says core. I
Yeah.
drove that core. It's not a coronation, it's a carnation. I drove the wheels off that core. Let's go to 1966. Percy Sledge was #1 with When a Man Loves a Woman. I was just verifying that that's what the title was.
Yeah.
So I can prove it to you. 1975. John Denver, #1.
Oh, man.
Steve Perry, Oh Sherry, #1 in 84. That's the Way Love Goes, Janet Jackson in 93. Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Miles in 02. Adele, Rolling in the Deep in 11. And Maren Morris, The Bones, 3 years ago today. MB's Pro. Whitney, thanks for coming in.
Yep, glad
Good
to
to
be
see
here.
you. When you learn more about that babesiosis, you get back
I
with us
will.
and your Texas horny toad frogs, lizard tick or whatever.
We're gonna, have to get him a guide or something to go by.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Happiness held is the seed. Happiness shared is the flower. Happiness held is the seed. Happiness shared is the flower. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Whitney Carmen, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,